Hi everybody, welcome to my podcast Nepali Tech Mom. I'm back with my new friend. Her name is Mrs Elena Khon. So she is my neighbor. She's living in my community. We are friends. We meet each other. Last year we had our like the kids going in the same school. Last year, we shared a car pool as well. I request her to join my podcast so that she can also share her experience. She is the scientist. She studied here in USA, and currently she is working as a real estate agent in High Point, North Carolina. So yeah, without any further ado, I want to talk with her, share her experiences regarding her work experience, the student life experience as an immigrant, and also the mom life as well. So, welcome, Elena, in my podcast, and thank you for your time.
Thank you for your invitation. That's very interesting for me as well. This is the first time I'm in somebody's podcast.
Mhm.
I feel like a star. So if I will be shy sometimes, don't be surprised because I'm also not very often, videotaped. So it's
Yeah.
something new for me, but yeah, I would love to share my experience.
Okay. So, can you just tell me about yourself, where you're from, and how did you landed over here?
hmm So I am originally from Uzbekistan. It's a small country. It used to be part of Soviet Union, but when it collapsed, it became its own country. It's not Russia or part of Russia anymore. But because it was a part of Soviet Union, a lot of people speak Russian. So my first language is Russian. I grew up going to a daycare or kindergarten and school where everyone spoke Russian. Ethnically, my family, we are Korean. So like I look Asian because I am Asian, but I don't have a lot of exposure. I guess we still cook Asian food. My parents spoke Korean to each other, so I know a little bit, but not like I'm not able to actually speak Korean. Like I can understand a little bit. And so I got my bachelor's degree back home in Uzbekistan at National University of Uzbekistan. I finished the chemistry department, and then I well, my brother, he's 2 years older, and he's also a chemist. He finished the same school, the same department. And so when he graduated, he wanted to go to get his PhD abroad, and he applied to many universities in the United States. He got accepted, and then 2 years later, when I graduated from back home, he told me that you know he he asked me basically if I'm interested in pursuing this career and getting a PhD in science in the United States. So I also applied. I just followed his steps, and we both graduated years later from Bowling Green State University. It's in Ohio. It's a small town called Bowling Green. Very safe, very quiet. People are Majority of people were very nice there. So yeah, I graduated in 2011. I started working. Wait, no, wait a second. I graduated in 2013, I think. I keep
So,
mixing
yeah.
the years, but anyway. So yeah, I graduated in 2013. I started working. I first worked as a postdoc with my academic advisor because we had some research projects that he wanted me to finish, and he had funds available for me to stay as a postdoc. So I worked 1 year as a postdoc, and then I worked as a chemistry instructor at Bowling Green State University for 1 year, and then they could not offer me the same position for the next year, so I was looking elsewhere. I got a position at a university in Texas, so we moved to Texas. I was teaching there 1 year. It was a Texas Lutheran University, and after that I got a position in a small company back in Bowling Green, Ohio. Well, it was actually in Perrysburg, Ohio, but it's very close to Bowling Green. So we moved back to Ohio from Texas, and I was working there for some time. and then I got a job in North Carolina. So that's how I ended up being in North Carolina. I worked here for a few years, but then I decided to quit my job, my career as a scientist, generally speaking, and I just resigned. And I started thinking about other options because I didn't want to just, do nothing. I couldn't possibly do nothing. I wanted to have a career. I just didn't want to be in industry anymore, especially chemical industry. Not that it's very bad, but when you're exposed to a certain amount of chemicals every day, 5 days a week, it's not ideal, I would say, for your health. Plus, sometimes we were supposed to lift heavy things, and I know that it um, kind of did a lot of bad things for my back.
Mhm.
So I still have back issues. I still have spine issues, which I'm dealing with until now. And the most important reason why I left science and industry, generally speaking, was it was very hard to keep a life and work balance. I Back then, when I was quitting my job, I had one child, and I knew that I would like to have more kids, but being in industry as a scientist working with chemicals every day
Mhm.
was not ideal for, you know,
Yeah.
pregnancy, having a little baby. Basically, if I would have a baby working still at that company, I would get probably around 8 weeks of paid leave, maternity leave. I know that a lot of women here in the United States go through it and they do it. I didn't think that I wanna have a child and send him or her to daycare when well, I have a boy, so I keep saying he. So
Yeah.
when he's so little. But right now I have two kids, and when I was thinking about what else can I do in terms of work and job, always was fascinated about real estate. So I finished the class and I got my real estate license, and now I work as a real estate agent, and I help people sell or buy houses, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, yeah, that's really very good experience that you have got, right? You, because of your like the health issues, you have to quit your job and you have to shift to the next like the other job, and you love the job, right? With the kids, you are able to do that without sending him in the daycare. Yeah,
Yes,
that
so
is
my little child is 2 years and 3 months, and most of the time I am with him. Of
mm,
course, there are times when I have to leave him. He either stays with a babysitter, or sometimes I have my family who comes and helps. Like my dad comes and helps. He stays with me for a few months, and my mother-in-law was here this year, and she stayed for a few months as well, and they were helping to babysit. But I really like the flexibility of my current job. I
mhm,
like the fact that I'm basically my own boss, and I can create a schedule the way I want it. Of course, I have to be available for my clients whenever they need me,
mhm,
but I still can say no if I absolutely cannot meet them when they want me to. I
mhm,
still can say, I'm sorry, but this time does not work for me at all. Can we please figure out another time? And, we're all people. My clients are also human. They also have kids, families. And most of the time, they understand that, I'm not a single person. I have a family, I have obligations. And they always try to work it out with me as well. So yeah, I was able to actually raise my second child pretty much by myself. Again, I do have a lot of help, and sometimes I hire a babysitter, but most of the days he stays home with me, and I'm able to work from home and at the same time care for my child. When I had my first son, My whole pregnancy I was teaching at Bowling Green State University.
Mhm.
So because I was teaching, I was not working with chemicals directly, and it was safe for being pregnant. And then the next year after he was born, I was teaching at Texas Lutheran University, so it was also not a toxic environment.
Mhm.
Um, it was a little difficult because when you're teaching, your work does not stop when you leave your office.
Yeah.
You bring home a lot of grading, you have to prepare for the lecture next day, you have to uh, make quizzes, make exams, and then on top of that, you have to grade all of it again. Teaching, it's a great job because you're doing something useful, you're sharing your knowledge with younger generation. So I think it's a very, very important profession and very giving and just a good profession, I think.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it took a lot of time from me, especially because I was still getting my experience. So for me, it would take longer to come up with exams. Like I didn't have a database of questions
Mhm.
that I could just, take questions and come up with a new exam.
Mhm.
Every time I would make a quiz or exam, I had to actually make it from scratch, basically
Yeah.
from start. And so it took me some time. So even though it was still a little more flexible than working in industry, but I didn't see my son a whole lot. Luckily, for some time while he was little, my husband was able to stay home with me while I am at work, and then he was working when I come back. He was working in the evenings most of the time. So that kind of worked. So we didn't actually send my son to daycare as well.
Mhm.
But then when we started working in industry, it was either daycare or babysitter.
Mhm.
We chose to hire a babysitter just because I knew that if we send him to daycare, he will be getting sick often,
Yeah.
and he will not get as much attention as I would love him to get. So we kept him with a babysitter until he was 3. And
Okay.
then when he was 3, I knew that he needs to socialize. So it's time for him to go to daycare and actually, you know, kind of
Yeah.
enjoy life outside of house.
Mhm.
So I think it was good overall for him and for us as well.
Yeah, yeah. 3 years is a good time to be like a socialized. He is trying to talk, right? He's trying to engage with the people like a small child, playing everything. Yeah, that is a good
Mhm.
time that you
Yeah.
did a good like decision to. Yeah, after 3.
Yes, when he turned 3, he went to daycare, and then, he was in a daycare and then kindergarten.
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny. So when it was time for him to go to kindergarten, and I was hoping that finally we will stop paying for daycare because kindergarten is free,
Yeah.
supposedly, COVID hit.
Oh yes.
And and so all the kindergartens and schools and a lot of daycares were closed, and the public schools where he was supposed to go,
Mm-hmm.
they were saying that we're doing now online classes, but if he will be doing online classes, that means that I have to be home with him,
Yeah.
which I couldn't do because I was working at a company here in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't have a choice. We found private school where they were still accepting schools inside, and we still had to pay for the full kindergarten year
Oh,
because it was COVID. So we paid for my older son's care for a very, very long time.
okay.
And
Yeah.
um, more than regular families.
Yes.
um,
By yeah. At that time, like he is like a 5. He have COVID means in 2020. He's in the kindergarten. Started
yeah, he was
kindergarten.
born in 2015,
Oh,
so
15. Oh, okay. So
mhm,
yeah, that is time is like a yeah, COVID everywhere. No one
yeah.
can go so remotely working home, and you have to go to the office that time, or you are also working remotely at the from house only.
No, so I was working in a research and development. We
Mm-hmm.
were making paint for wood.
Oh.
And because, I mean, you physically have to be present and have to do um, experiments. Well, not necessarily experiments, but basically, my job was to either improve or
Mm-hmm.
develop, like improve existing products or develop new products for clients. And so you cannot do it from home. You need all the chemicals, all the raw materials, you need the equipment. You cannot possibly do it from home. It's not like it's not a computer job. It's not
Mm-hmm.
something that, you have to be present in
Right.
the lab. Yeah,
The
we
lab.
had a separate building. So our production building is in one place, and research and development is in a smaller building at a different place. And we have few different laboratories.
Mm-hmm.
I was working in UV curable materials
Mm-hmm.
department. So yeah, we had, each of us had a bench with a little hood and like exhaust which sucks out the fumes of chemicals. So yeah,
Oh,
but even though you're trying to be as safe as possible, when you're working with chemicals, and the whole building was working with chemicals, you're still exposed to them. There is
mhm.
no way to avoid the exposure.
After what year you started your like the realtor as a realtor job? Like you started that.
So I started a real estate career in 2021,
Oh, okay.
3 years ago. That's when I basically decided that I want to have a second child.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew that I'm getting older,
Mm-hmm.
and I decided that it's time to do something about it. Like I
Mm-hmm.
knew that it's gonna be hard to have a child and staying at my previous job.
Mm-hmm.
So when when I asked myself what is more important, my career or my family,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for me, it was clear that my family is more important. And, you can have a job, you can have a successful career, but at work, if something happens to you, you are not irreplaceable.
Yeah.
They will hire another person the next day and forget about you.
Yeah.
And your family is something that is the most important and the most valuable in everybody's life. And at least it should be.
Yes. Yeah. I respect your like decision. Yeah. Decision is really very good that you took that step. And so yeah, so let's talk about your like the like as an immigrant student. So how's your student life? Just going back.
Well, of course, I had a cultural shock when I came here. Uh, for me, first thing that was very unique and unusual is how friendly people are to each other. Strangers will pass by and say hi to me and ask me, "Hey, how are you doing?" And I would look at them and be in my mind thinking, "Do I know this person? Like, why is he talking to me? Why is he saying hello?" Like, and
Yeah.
I honestly thought that we have met somewhere. I just don't remember, and I felt so guilty. But then my brother explained to me, "No, this is what people are doing here. Even if they don't know you personally, when you see each other and your eyes meet, it's just polite and nice to say hello and greet each other." Which, I mean, it should be like that in any culture, but in my culture, usually people just pass by each other, and you say hello to someone if you know him or her.
Yes.
You don't randomly talk to strangers in my country. So that was very unique, but I quickly picked up on that and started saying hello to everyone myself.
Mhm. Oh.
um, Another thing which was interesting, in the store, people will pass by you and they don't even touch you. They are nowhere near you, and they will still say excuse me. And for me, I was like, excuse me for what? Like, what did you do? But again, it's just being polite, and unfortunately, where I grew up, people don't do it. People push each other sometimes and don't even say sorry or oops, So it was different, but in a good way.
Good.
Like I really enjoyed that people here respect each other, and they're just genuinely nice to each other. That was, I think, that was something that I really like a lot about the United States.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but of course, when I came here, my English wasn't as good as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
So I struggled. Even ordering my first meal in a
Yeah.
cafeteria at the at the university, like
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. So I knew, for example, the names of animals, right? There is
Mm-hmm.
pig, which we eat. There is cow. There is
Yeah.
chicken, but I didn't know the name of the meat that comes from this animal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
chicken is chicken. It's
Yeah.
easy, but usually we don't, when we order beef, we will say beef, we don't say cow, right?
Yeah.
Or pork instead of pig.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know these terms, pork and beef, and so
Mm-hmm.
I struggled a lot.
Oh, that's really very like,
uh,
yeah. Posting is like yeah, that is the same happened to me as well. So yeah, it happens to the new one. That so how long you been here in USA? Like
I came in 2008.
8. Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. It's a long
So
back.
in 2 years it will be, oh no, in 4 years it will be 20 years.
Oh my God. Okay. Yeah. So yeah,
So
that was a
yeah.
very, very like a little bit like a struggle, right? For the new person who is an immigrant, they have some
Hmm.
like same type of issue. Because me, for myself also, I did experience the same thing that you already said. So I'm just recalling that again.
Yes, so the language barrier was there for some time, but because I'm very talkative, I'm very social, I like to talk to people, meet people, hang out with people, my English improved very fast. I remember as an international student, we had to take English as a second language class in graduate school. And after the first semester, I remember my teacher calling me out after class, and she told me how proud she is of me. And she said, within her career, I am the first person who had improved her English. Like, I came with a very, very bad English. Bad in terms of, like, I knew it in my head. I knew the rules, I knew the words, I had the vocabulary for it. I couldn't speak and I couldn't understand. So for me, I knew English pretty well, but I wasn't able to talk as clearly and as fast as I do now. And when people would talk to me, if they talk very fast, I would sometimes not understand everything that they are saying. So I would ask them, "Can you repeat or can you slow down?" So, and this is how I was in the beginning. And in 6 months, well, even less, because one semester is what, like 4 months. In 4 months, I had improved my English so much that my teacher said that within her career, I'm the first person that improved from 1 to 10 in one semester. And she was just amazed. She was saying that everyone improves, but the jump that she saw from the beginning of the class until the end of the class for me was so big that she was just surprised, and she was saying how proud she was.
That was really, very good. That you pick up really very fast. I think. Yeah. Maybe because of the like you talk with the friends and the other people like in the English, right? So that will also help you to grow to learn more. And when you speak right more and more, it automatically improves our like the English speaking as well. So the same story for me as well. If I want to share is like when I am here, I also the same thing. The English like the language barrier, I could not understand what they are saying, and I am not able to understand them to what I'm trying to say. So it's really very like I because we also grown up in our country with the English language. Like I studied in the English like the private school. So I already know like English, how to speak English, but the here the language, like the like accent, the dialect is really very different, right? So that's the reason that we are not used to. But like after some time, it's not difficult for us to cope. So it's good. So yeah, that is the main thing that we every like maybe immigrant who come here for the first time will face this type of issue or the like struggles, like sometimes.
Well, if I could give any advice to students who are coming here
Mhm,
from abroad, I would say don't try to stick to people from your country, because a lot of people make this mistake. You're
mhm,
trying to find someone from the same country, and
mhm,
like you become friends because you have the same background, and it's
mhm,
very nice, and it's okay to do it, but don't just spend time with people from your country.
mhm.
Try to find friends who do not speak your language, because this is the first thing that will improve your English a lot. Speaking with somebody who cannot speak the same language that you speak, you have to speak English basically.
Yes.
So that's what I did. And I need to probably thank my brother for it, because when I came, my brother was there, so I could basically just you know
Mhm,
keep talking to him and not improve my English a whole lot. But he told me, if you want to improve your English, start making friends with people who can only like who has a common language as English with you,
mhm,
because I became friends with a girl from Venezuela. I
mhm,
became friends with a girl from Russia. She speaks Russian too, so like we could speak the same language. But
mhm,
because we were a group of people, we had to speak English. So
mhm.
my friends were one from Turkey, one from Russia, one from Venezuela, and one from Romania. We
Okay.
all spoke different languages
Mhm.
back home, but when we were all together, we had to speak English with each other, and that helped me a lot to improve my English. So I would say, make your friends with people from your country, because it's you will be homesick, so it helps to have someone from the same culture and country. But also, don't limit yourself with this friendship. Expand your friendship to English speaking people.
Yeah, that is a really very good like advice for the new younger like students who has just migrated here and try to make their like the study over here. That is really very helpful, Elena, for sharing this like experience. So what else like you want to talk about? Like, do you want to talk about like the here like the mom life and the uh, what do you think? You want to talk about the like how do you trying to make your child like the you have a two kids, right? You have a two kids and you speak different language and you are from different country. So how often did you teach your like spoke like in your own language? You spoke this, your own language in the house in a home, or how is
Yes, we
that?
do, because both me and my husband were from the same country. We both speak Russian. Russian is our first language.
Mm-hmm,
And so we speak Russian at home. And
mm-hmm,
my older son, he's 9, so he knows how to read, write, and speak in
mm-hmm.
Russian.
Okay.
And my little one is only 2, so he doesn't talk. He doesn't talk in English. He doesn't talk in Russian. He just doesn't talk yet.
Yeah.
So for him, it's hard to say which language he will speak.
Mm-hmm,
But my older one speaks both languages,
mm-hmm,
and it was hard for him when he went to daycare when he was 3. His babysitters actually were also Russian speakers. I was trying to find someone who speaks Russian to spend time with him. So when he went to daycare, he did not know English. And
mm-hmm.
it was a shock for him, because he didn't understand what they are saying to him. And it took him some time to get adjusted. But I knew that, growing up here in the United States, he will learn English regardless of anything.
Yeah.
He will go to school, he will learn it, he will speak with his, friends in English. And for me, it was important to, if I can, why not give him 2 languages, right? Because having another language is always beneficial. Maybe he doesn't benefit from it right now, but in the future, when he gets jobs, when he travels, hopefully it will help him a lot, I think. And so I was teaching him at home to read Russian myself when he was 4. So he actually knew how to read in Russian before he learned how to read in English. But right now, of course, he can do both, and he reads and writes in English much better and faster right now. Russian is a little bit more complicated as well, but he can read and write in Russian, just not as fast. But
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. I just want him to remember how to do it.
Yeah.
I don't need him to be,
Yeah.
proficient in Russian. It's okay. It's enough for me that he can communicate with his grandparents, because his grandparents do not speak English.
Okay.
So for me, that was kind of the most important.
Yes.
So he can speak with his family members who don't know English, and at the same time, I'm hoping it will be helpful in the future for him. So
Yeah.
yeah, we try to teach our kids Russian.
Okay, that is cool. Yeah. So yeah, the people who is like a bilingual, like this is called the bilingual. Like we are also not from here, this country. We are just migrated from Nepal, and we speak Nepali language in our house. So it's really very difficult for the kids to understand as well. In the home, we speak Nepali. In outside, when we meet other people, they talk about English. And for the starting thing, it will be very difficult for the kids as well to understand like what they are saying. They are not
Hmm.
understanding it, right? In home, we are making them to speak in our own language. So how about like the culture in the Russian? Just want to see, like, did you celebrate your own like the festivals? There is any like a specific festival you do in the Russian?
To be honest, not really. I mean, okay, so one difference between here and back home, we usually, for Russians, celebrating a New Year's Eve is a big thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say probably for, at least for women, like New Year's Eve, your
Mm-hmm.
birthday, and then there is International Women's Day, which is
Mm-hmm.
March 8th.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys celebrate it in Nepal? No?
Well, yes,
I
we do some festivals, but like not like
Not Women's Day. So
we do that
it
Women's Day as well. Yeah.
so March 8th is the Women's Day in, I think Europe also knows about it. I don't know if it's a big celebration in Europe or not, but in Russia it's an official holiday. So
Oh.
people have a day off,
Mm-hmm.
and usually it's interesting. So my family, when I was growing up, it was me, my brother, and our parents.
Mm-hmm.
And so that day, one day a year, usually men would bring flowers to women,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would be the ones to clean the house and do all the house chores, like everything that a woman normally
Mm-hmm.
is doing in the house, men would do for them, because it's called Women's Day. So women have rest and enjoy. They, give gifts, flowers, and then they do the house chores for women. And ladies, they either go shopping or go to make themselves pretty, like do their nails and pedicure, whatever, massage. Like if you can afford, you can go do more fun things. But
Mm-hmm.
basically, it's in our culture, it's always kind of a big celebration. So March 8th, as a Women's Day, birthdays, but everyone celebrate
Mm-hmm.
birthdays. And
So
then
when is your birthday?
um, it's in June.
Oh,
Mhm,
okay. So you are a June baby. Okay.
mhm. So, and then New Year's Eve. Usually, so the way people celebrate Christmas here, with all the big gifts and like family gathering and a lot of cooking and stuff like that, we celebrated New Year's Eve this way.
Okay.
It's probably because back when I was growing up, when it was a Soviet Union, they did not. The religion during Soviet Union was not really encouraged, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Christmas is a religious holiday,
Yeah.
so that's why we would still have a Christmas tree decorated and cook
Mm-hmm.
a lot and invite family and give each other gifts, but it will all happen during the New Year's Eve instead of
Okay.
Christmas. So I guess that's one of the big differences. But living here for so long, I do tend to celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving, and 4th of July.
Mm, every
um,
everything like we need to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah.
Because, I also feel that I have to do it for my kids because they were born here. This is their home country. And I need to make sure that they are aware of the traditions
Mhm.
which are kept here.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I think that is also like we need to make the kids know, right? Because they talk with the friends in the school, like what did they do in the Christmas, or what did
Mhm.
they do in the birthday? What is the theme of the birthday, and all these things. We never like, for me as a like immigrant, I never celebrate my birthday in my back home, like using this like theme thing. And I'm so surprised when I go to the like the my daughter, like the daughter, like the friends like invited us in the birthday, and they are doing some like the theme things, right? The one that they like the most, they make like some of them like a princess theme, like the Elsa. And I'm
Yeah.
so shocked, like they are making like very special, right? The birthday is
Mhm.
really special for the kids. So in my country it was not like that for me, when I was in in back home. So here is like, yeah, I'm also learning with the kids a lot of things. I'm just learning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to adapt.
Yeah, so that's the main thing, like living here and learning the new, like every day we learn a new thing from the kids as well. So that
Mhm.
is really very good, right? So yeah, that is a good thing that I know about Russia. That is really very nice. And yeah, I think yeah, your like son, like Maxium, right? His name is Maxium, and he's really very good on the extra activities that we get together, like the and taekwondo is the one we enrolled together. And I saw like he is like really very good on that. So he is really very excited to go to the taekwondo, and he loved it, right? So yeah, that is also feels me like good, like he's doing so good. And congratulations for his like a black belt, he already get the
Mhm.
black belt.
Yeah,
So
he
yeah,
finally
that is
got it.
really very good. My daughter is like 2 or 3 belt back, so maybe future yeah, some like some a couple of months maybe, yeah, she will be in a black belt. So how is he doing in the black belt? He's continuing, or he's just
No, we decided to stop for now. He wanted to continue, but for 3.5 years, I was taking him to Taekwondo 3 times a week,
yeah.
and driving with him. So when I signed him up for Taekwondo, we didn't have a second baby, and I wasn't even pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
But then after we signed him up, I got pregnant. So my whole pregnancy, I was taking Maxim to Taekwondo 3 times a week. And
Mm-hmm.
then when I had a baby, I still had to do it because,
Mm-hmm.
and driving by myself with him is okay. Even when I was pregnant, that's
Yeah.
fine. But, driving when you have a newborn baby,
Yeah.
going there, waiting there 35, 40 minutes, and then driving back, it became more complicated. So for 3.5 years I was doing it because I told him we're not quitting.
Yeah.
I wanted to teach him that if you started something, you have to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
And so even though for me it was difficult,
Mm-hmm.
but I told him, no, we keep going, and until you get a black belt, we will not quit.
Mm-hmm.
So when he got a black belt, he wanted to continue doing it, but I told him, "Mommy needs a break." I told him, "You can go again anytime, and you still have your black belt. Nobody will take it away from you. You
Mm-hmm.
can go back at any point." But I need a little break. So we are thinking maybe starting January, if he still wants to go,
Mm-hmm.
maybe he'll go. But right now, we signed him up for ice skating.
Ice skating.
So we're doing ice skating this semester because I want him to stay in shape, like physically.
Mm-hmm.
So he has swim classes and ice skating right now.
Oh,
And
okay.
ice skating is only once a week, but also you can go for free public skating. So it would be like twice a week. Um, and because the timing is longer, it's easier. Like I can drop him there because he's big enough, and then I can do some, I can run some errands and then
Mm-hmm.
come back pick him up because Taekwondo. is only 35 minutes,
Yeah.
and you cannot really leave because by the time you get somewhere, like, you cannot leave him and do some,
Mm-hmm.
errands and then
Yeah.
come back. But with ice skating, the classes are 1 hour,
Mm-hmm.
and then the free public session is 2 hours. So I can
Oh.
actually accomplish something while he's having fun. I
Mm-hmm.
can go and do something during this time. So for me, it's more convenient at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, if he wants to continue taekwondo, I will take him back again.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, at least you just switch the another activities as well, right? Then taking
Mhm.
out the taekwondo, you go to the new activities. That is good. So how's the swimming class going on? Like Maxim is doing good. Okay.
Yeah, he already learned how to swim a long time ago because we're going for swim classes. This is his fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
So he knows how to swim, but I keep taking him there because swimming, I think, is very good.
Yeah.
It's basically your whole body has to exercise. Like
Mm-hmm.
in ice skating, it's mostly his legs
Mm-hmm.
and maybe his back a little bit, which are getting the exercise.
Mm-hmm.
But in swimming, it's his whole body and also his lungs because he needs to like hold his breath for
Yeah.
some time. So for me, I just do it so that he stays healthy and, in a good shape. But he already knows how to swim different ways for a
Mm-hmm.
long time now.
Yeah, I think yeah, that is a good thing that you did swimming because yeah, also enroll my daughter like Arya in the swimming and the taekwondo. So yeah, two things is enough because I cannot do like I have to drop off and
Mhm.
drive in. It's very very difficult with the second child as well, right? So it's really
Yeah.
very. Oh my God, yeah. I also trying to make Arya to finish that taekwondo. She's the sometimes she's like, I don't want to go to the class. She's so tired with the school, right? After school we have to take
Mhm.
them. So maybe in the school they have some more thing. But yeah, just 3 days in a week is like good enough. So I'm just continue working doing that. So yeah, that is good. So yeah, I think so. Anything like you want to share about how do you like balance your like timing to the kids? I think as you are working, like flexibility is there with their work, so that helps a lot, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So right now, Maxim is in school, 5 days a week from morning until 3,
Mm-hmm.
and that gives me a lot of free time.
Mm-hmm.
And my little one actually just started last week going to daycare, but he only goes for 3 hours from 9 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives me this 3 hours of freedom where I can do my work. And like if I need to show houses, I would try to book showings during this time.
Mm-hmm.
If my clients cannot meet me during this time because a lot of people work, so they have to be at work in the morning,
Yeah.
we will schedule something in the evening, but then I will bring a babysitter basically.
Oh, okay.
So
Mm-hmm.
but within those 3 hours a day where I have free time, I run all my errands. I check my emails. I respond to my clients by email. If there is nothing that I should do outside of my house,
Mm-hmm.
basically, I accomplish a lot during those 3 hours because, when you don't have a child next to you who wants your attention, you can actually accomplish a lot.
Yes.
And so, but then after I pick him up from the daycare, feed him, and then he takes a nap. Right now he's napping. He
Mm-hmm.
usually sleeps from like 12:30 until 2:30, 2.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives me another time, to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, he wakes up, he gets a snack, and then we go pick up my older son, and then we go to my older son's activities because he has activities Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, 4 days a
Mm-hmm.
week. But if we don't have any activities, then we'll just go outside, meet your kids and all
Yeah.
our neighbor. I love our neighborhood.
Yeah.
We have so many kids,
Mm-hmm.
different ages, and they all get outside in the evening, especially when the weather is so nice and they
Yeah.
all play with each other. It reminds me of how we were growing up back home. We would just go because we didn't have video games when I was
Yeah.
growing up. So we would just go outside with all of our toys if we had toys. We'll
Mm-hmm.
share them, exchange, play with each other, played hide and seek all the time or like tag. And I'm very happy that our kids get to
Mm-hmm.
experience this because I
Yeah.
know that not every neighborhood is like that.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful that we have so many young families with children in our
Mm-hmm.
neighborhood, and kids get to play with each other
Yeah.
instead of just sitting home with a video game.
Yeah, the video games, the screen time is like too much for this like kids nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Before it was like no screen time. We usually come out, play together.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now like the technology is it's up to like the technology is good, but sometimes the technology is bad for kids as well. So it's
Yeah.
really very like both sides,
It's
right?
it's hard to kind of like explain to them that you know you can play a video game anytime when it's too dark or too cold or raining, but right now the weather is nice outside, so maybe you need to go outside and play with actual humans,
Yeah.
and all they want to do, they want to play a game. I limit my son with cartoons and video games, and I usually tell him that if he wants to play a video game, he needs to read one book. So unless he reads a book a day, he cannot play anything
Mm-hmm.
or watch cartoons. So that's kind of a compromise that I found that okay, at least he will read a book, which is very useful for him,
Mm-hmm.
and then he will play a little bit of video games.
Yeah, that is good idea. Yeah, I'm also doing the same thing because yeah, without like giving them something, they are not doing anything. So it's
Mm-hmm.
really very difficult to make them like do something like reading. Yeah, the reading is good. Previously, if there is no like this like the technology, all of them was in the book, right? They read the book a lot. So
Yes.
yeah, that makes everyone like good on the learning things, right? They from the book you get a lot of good knowledge. So yeah, that is
Yeah,
really
reading
very
helps with spelling, with
Mhm.
English grammar and vocabulary. So
Yeah.
it's very good.
Yeah. So yeah, that is very cool. Things that you share. Yeah. And I think we are come to the end. Maybe we can wrap up with the nice like advice or anything that you want to share with my audience or the viewers regarding that you have anything on your mind, like regarding any like mom thing or the like the student, anything that you want to share with them with very good for us.
Well, if any student who is about to graduate is watching us and you're looking for a job, um, two things I wanted to kind of recommend. First, be prepared for the interview. There are so many online resources. You can Google what kind of questions people ask on the interview. If you type in a specific job, you may even find specific questions for that type of job. Don't be afraid to fail your first one or two or few interviews because you know getting a job and going through the job interview is very stressful. You may think that you're prepared enough, but what will actually happen, you cannot control. You cannot, your emotions. You will be stressed, you will be nervous. um People may be not looking as friendly as you would want them to look, and sometimes it's okay to fail your first interview. Just make sure that you remember what happened. Make sure that you remember what kind of questions they asked you, and make sure that next time you know the answers to these questions, because they may ask you to give an example of a certain situation. How did you deal with it, or something like that. So just take the job interview very seriously, but also don't expect to pass with flying colors from the first time. Job interviews are tough, but the the most important thing is just You don't have to know everything. You just have to show that you are able to get an answer. If you don't know something right now, just show them that you know how to get the answer to this question. That's very important. For any employer, it's a good thing to see that you can analyze and you can build a strategy to solve a problem. With moms who are working moms or staying home moms, it doesn't matter. I would say just remember that the most important thing of being a parent is just to make sure that your kids know that they're loved. I'm a little bit of a perfectionist myself. I like my house to be clean. I like everything to be in order. I like everything to be on schedule. And sometimes I stress out if the dishes are not done or if the floor is dirty. But so I constantly keep reminding myself sometimes that the most important thing is that the child is taken care of, he's happy, you're bonding with him. The dishes will not, like, it's not gonna kill anyone if the dishes stay in the sink for an extra hour or if the floor is dirty for one day, you know.
Mhm.
So just, we cannot, as humans, we cannot possibly have it all and do it all. Sometimes we need to have rest, and it's more important for a mom to take care of herself mentally, physically, because you're the caregiver. If something happens to you, nobody will be there for your child. I mean, yes, you can hire help, of course, but it's very important for every mom to take care of herself first and then being able to give love and support and care to her kids and her husband sometimes, the whole family basically.
Yeah.
So I guess just you know, take care of yourself. um, Remember that it's very important to stay healthy for your own children as well, not only for yourself. And yeah, just enjoy motherhood.
Yeah, that is good. Yeah, advice. So, if anybody wants to reach out to you regarding, can you share us your contact? Like,
Are you able to, like, in your podcast, in comments, leave my email address?
yeah, I will put your emails on the description so that everyone can, yeah, get that
Yeah.
email.
If somebody needs help with the real estate,
Mm-hmm.
if you're in Triad area, so Winston-Salem, High Point,
Mm-hmm.
Greensboro, and surrounding areas like Stocksdale, Summerfield, Colfax, Kernersville, Thomasville. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I will be able to help if you need a real estate agent. If you need an advice regarding, you know, scientific career or real estate career or just, you know, advice as a mom,
Mm-hmm.
you can also reach out to me and I will be happy to help if I can, as much as I can.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it is really very helpful, and it is very like I'm really very appreciated that you give us like the time, give me the time, and yeah, we talk regarding your experiences. You have shared your everything to my audience, and they I think they also know about you and how the student life will be and how it will be in the like the career like as a scientist, it works. So it helps a lot, I think. So thank you so much for your time, Elena. And yeah, I think we will be keep in touch because we are in the same neighbors. So we meet
Yeah,
and
we'll
we
see each
yeah.
other later.
Yeah, we play together. Our kids are like the friends. So yeah, when Arya meets Maxim, she will be very happy. Like, oh look, Maxim is playing outside, so I have to go. So yeah, she is really very like in the social like socially playing with the kids. So
Mhm.
I'm so thankful for your time, and thank you all for tuning in my podcast. So if you feel like this is the helpful this conversation, then please do comment and do share the video to your friends, family, anyone. If they need it, then it will be very helpful for them as well. So yeah, thank you so much, Elena, for the time.
Happy to help.
Yeah,
Bye.
stay tuned for the more new coming videos. Thank you. Bye bye.